Welcome to the Songwriter Connection podcast, where we look at the craft of songwriting through the eyes of the songwriter. Each week, we make a connection with a music maker, listen to their songs, and hear their stories. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenihan.
Our guest today, my wife affectionately calls Ricky. Ricky Randolph is with us today, and he's got an amazing story, and we're going to talk to him. But first, I'll introduce you to Ricky, but I want to talk about my friend Bill O'Hanlon. You know, I think it was the second or third episode we ever did of the podcast, so it was back in January, February of 2021, back when we were just a small budding, just an idea, right? Bill came on the show. He's an amazing songwriter and author. He's had a lot of song cuts, a lot of songs for sync, you know, for movies and TV shows and things like that. But he's also an amazing author. One of his books got him on Oprah Winfrey's show, which is pretty darn cool. And he's a great guy. He comes to all the songwriters rounds. He's always cheering you on. Just a really good guy and performer himself. But I wanted to talk to you about his three great books that he has. And the first one I read was Song Building, Mastering Lyric Writing. Song building is an amazing process to step you through how to write a song. And it really is brilliant. And a lot of folks around here, and more folks are using this song building method, all because of Bill. Also, he's got a second book, The Songwriter's Guide to Mastering Co-Writing. And we talk about the art of co-writing and how it's done here in Nashville most of the time. And so more on that. And also Bill's got Mastering Melody Writing. So they're all available on Amazon. Check out my good buddy, Bill O'Hanlon. Now, Ricky Randolph. Let me tell you about Ricky. Ricky, his first instrument was drums, and an amazing drummer. He is, you know what? Ricky was the first one that told me that Bob Dylan says never drop names, right, Ricky?
That's right.
You're like the funniest dude I ever met. But I mean, can I drop some names? These are people you've played with. Michael McDonald, Greg Allman.
Greg Allman.
Curtis Mayfield.
Billy
Lee. Derek Trucks.
Billy Lee. Yeah.
Delbert McClinton, really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man.
It just
all the big
ones. Plus, you did some studio time too, right? Lots of work in the studio too.
Right.
Delbert
McClinton.
Yeah. That is so cool. And then cuts, you know.
Then they got good drummers.
Well, no, I heard you're a pretty darn good drummer yourself. But you're also a great guitar player and songwriter. You've written songs like Something for the band Perry, Fill in the Blank with Trent Tomlinson, and many others. And you're just getting off the road with Georgette Jones, right? And that's the daughter of Tammy and George, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The daughter of Tammy and George, yeah.
How about that? That must have been I heard you had a weird day the other day, huh? Scary day.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about that at all?
Shootings.
Yeah.
Mass shootings will put a damper in your day. That's
you were in Baltimore the day of the shootings, right?
We were real close to it.
Wow.
It was it's pretty wild.
Man, that'll shake you up.
Pretty wild, man.
That'll shake you up for sure. Yeah.
Oh man, it did.
Yeah.
It really did.
Was it a come to Jesus moment?
It was, man. It made you realize, just how sacred life is.
Yeah, really does, doesn't it?
Kids, man, got killed. Kids got shot. It's crazy.
How horrible.
Yeah.
In a time where you should have been flying high, playing those drums and having a good time, and then turning around, something like that happening. It's just tragic.
Ah, yeah, man.
Man, crazy. Well,
it was.
Let's pick it up. Let's not talk about that kind of stuff. You've got new music coming out, and we're going to be amongst the first to hear some of the new stuff. And I do appreciate you coming on the show. And
yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
I've known you for years, but I look forward to getting to know you a little bit more. You play around mostly all the writers' rounds here, and I've seen you do feature rounds at the Commodore. I've seen you at the Maxwell House, the Listening Room, the Bluebird, and you play everywhere. The songwriter festivals, like down at Frank Brown, which is that's one everybody loves to play and get it. It's hard to get into, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I played down there once, and they've invited me back. I've been blessed enough to be invited back, and I appreciate it.
Well, you're doing something right when they invite you back, right?
Yeah, man. I didn't wreck the hotel rooms or anything.
Yeah, why not? You didn't have Joe Walsh
let
with
me
you.
come back. That's it, man. That's all you got to do is just be nice.
Or Billy Lee. Now, if Billy Lee was with you, forget it.
Yeah, well, he always wrecks them. Like John Bonham, he'll wreck the hotel room.
Now, so drums, you just mentioned John Bonham. So let's go drums. That was the first, you picked up the sticks. How old were you?
Oh, man. She's 5 years old.
Wow. Now, were you always beating on the pans and stuff in the kitchen? What how'd you get an interest in the drums?
I used to get whippings for turning the trash cans upside down with trash in them.
And look at you now.
Yeah.
Were you like, Mom, one day you'll pay to see this?
Yeah, that's right. I remember listening to the radio in the car with my mother and hearing the upbeat and thinking, well, I can do that.
You can do that.
No problem.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Awesome. So you started, but then you had this epiphany that you could make more money if you played guitar, or you could double your income anyway.
I could double my income. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could, and I could, and I could have, different things going on, so you don't get bored.
Yeah. So
playing guitar is a lot different than playing drums. Driving a band,
It is. It's hard to write a song on the drums, isn't it?
It really is. You can do it, but nobody wants to hear it.
I always admire drummers because, just think, if you don't play the drums, think about this for a second. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. You got all four limbs doing something different, and I forget it. And then on top of that, if you sing, I don't, there's no way.
Well, you can't think about it. I think it's just subconscious.
Yeah.
You get used to doing it.
Yeah.
It's like going to get the mail.
Oh yeah. Like going to get the mail, huh? Like,
yeah, it is. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine just like anything
else. You hear
else.
the thunder? You hear that thunder?
Are you getting some weather where you are?
Yeah, I'm in Huntsville, Alabama, at my house.
Okay. Yeah. So there's the other thing I was going to ask you. You live in Huntsville, but you were in Nashville a lot. I didn't even know that you lived in Huntsville because every time you like have dual citizenship, don't you? You're back and forth.
I have dual citizenship. I'm there like 4 or 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. Then I come home.
Playing shows and co-writing when you're not on the road with some big act, right?
That's it.
Yeah. And you've played with them all. So now let me ask you too. Now, I wanted to know when songwriting became a thing for you. And I know your dad was a huge, as a matter of fact, when I visited Muscle Shoals, which you're not too far from Muscle Shoals, are you?
68 miles.
That's it. Wow. So it's in your blood. It's in the water. But your dad, who's in the Alabama Music Hall of Fame, which I visited when I visited Muscle Shoals, and there's a picture of your dad. Mac Bickery was your dad, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Did he teach you how to play and write songs, or was it something that you inherited from him? Or
when I was young, I remember sitting. Him and Bobby Borger.
Oh boy, those
wrote a song that Tanya Tucker recorded called "Jamestown Ferry."
I remember that song. Played that on the radio more than a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. And
your dad wrote that.
Even my dad wrote that with Bobby Borger. And I was sitting in the hotel room when they started writing that. And what inspired me to start writing was the first line. He just caught the Jamestown Ferry. It's not a hot day in January like he said it'd be if he ever left me. And I thought that was genius.
That is genius.
Do that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And your dad, he was a rockabilly artist, and he had some hits. I remember Ishabilly, playing that on the radio, dating myself. But he wrote a lot of big songs. He didn't have any hits. He didn't have any hits as an artist, but he wrote "Only Hell My Mom Ever Raised." Oh.
He wrote "The Fireman."
That's right. George Strait's "The Fireman" he wrote. How about that?
Yeah, wow. He wrote "Rocking My Life Away." Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh yeah, he did a lot of work with Jerry Lee, didn't he? Or did he?
He did, yeah. He wrote The Meat Man. Yeah. Him and Jerry were pretty close.
Pretty good buds, huh? Yeah.
Pretty good buddies.
Wow. And he's not with us anymore, right? I should know this. I apologize for asking.
No, he's gone.
Passed away.
He's gone.
A while back. Wow.
Yeah.
So you heard that line and you go, that's pretty cool. I'm going to try this. Do you
that
remember?
inspired me It inspired me to want to try, which, of course, everybody's first songs are awful.
Yeah.
And I'm no exception. But, later I just went and listened to other songwriters.
Uh-huh.
Instead of talk, I listened and learned how to do it.
That's perfect. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So who are some of the ones that just really did it for you? Who did you really admire at that point in time?
Aaron Barker.
Aaron Barker.
I love Aaron's writing.
What a great guy.
Dave Gibson, one of my co-writers. I love Dave.
Dave's been on the show.
Ships That Don't Come In.
Yeah, great song. Great guy.
Yeah,
love Dave.
Man.
Yeah.
And a guy that not a lot of people really recognize because he didn't have a lot of hits, but I love Jonathan Long's writing.
Jonathan?
Did you ever meet?
No.
Jonathan Long.
Long. No, I haven't, but
He was the bartender at Bobby's Idle Hour forever. What a great writer.
Is that the guy they call Lizard?
Pardon me?
That isn't Lizard, is it?
No, that's not Lizard.
Okay.
No, that's the guy the little skinny guy that used to work the bar.
Oh, yes. I remember him.
Jonathan Long.
Jonathan, yes. First time
he ain't playing checkers, man. That guy's a good writer.
I didn't realize that. I will never forget him because I remember the first time I played at Bobby's Idle Hour, and we talked and had a beer, and he said, "I hope you'll come back and play." I said, "Are you kidding?" You can count on it, man. Of course, I wasn't living here at the time, but that place is iconic, and they've moved it 4 times, and it's new location.
Also, Mac Elliott is a great writer that's never had any hits. Or anything, but Mac's a great writer. There's just the trash cans of Nashville are lined with great songs.
You are so right, and I do love him, Elliot. He is every time I see him, he blows me away. It's just amazing. Yeah, and there's a lot of them. Yeah, and that's the thing. But and we talk about the double-edged sword of Spotify and things. Which, by the way, if you've never seen the playlist, I think it's on Netflix. The story of how Spotify came into being and who made the money and who doesn't make the money. The artist, I'll give you a clue. It's a fascinating show. But the double-edged sword about that is there are more music out there available, and a lot of these songs you can find online. And, yeah. Are you putting now the new songs that we're going to play? Will they be available out there on platforms like that?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No, I don't do that. Here's the deal with me. Mm-hmm. I don't have a new single about to drop. Mm-hmm. I don't have anything being released. I sell these at my gig.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unlike a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are having new singles released.
Oh yeah.
Everything, but I'm just not one of those people. I just sell them at my gigs. And if everybody likes what I did, they'll buy one.
I got you. Well, that's a good thing because I'm hearing there's something like 100,000 a day going up on Spotify alone. So no, I can understand that, and I know other writers just like you. They say the same thing. There's just no way I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to.
Right. Well, I mean, you can get those many plays and maybe 1 million plays and make you $83. I mean,
that is the sad thing. Reality. Yes, it is. Yeah. So, I think at that point it's more of an ego thing, right? There it is, And you seem to have no ego at all.
Yeah, right.
That's what I love about you. He's got this sense of humor that just kills. Like you write a lot with Dave Gibson. Okay, and I remember the first time I heard you do this, you were at, I don't remember where it was. You go, is Dave Gibson in here tonight? Okay, this is one I wrote on my own.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everybody steals that now, but I think you were the first.
Everybody does, and I was no exception. I stole it from him.
From Dave?
You were talking about, you had a guy that wrote a book you were telling about when you came on. But
Bill O'Hanlon.
I'd like to mention that I just wrote one, too. It's only 2 pages long. It's called Fun Things to Do While in Mount Zion.
2 pages, huh?
Yeah, 2 pages, including the forward. Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious. Well, you could put the index in there, and all the references. That could get it up to like 4 pages or maybe 5.
Yeah, man. And I might do that with the coffee table version.
There you go. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Ricky, let's play one of these new songs, all right, and have you talk about it right now. First one up I have is Talk About Us. So tell us about Talk About Us.
I wrote this with Jim Parker.
Jim Parker, he's a legend.
Yeah, Jim's a legend. He wrote Chicken Truck for John Anderson.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, and I wrote that with Jim.
Did you really? Okay. And
and this was recorded over at Muscle Shoals at my friend Billy Lawson's studio, Wishbone
Studios. It's got that Muscle Shoals kind of sound. Let's take a listen. This is Talk About Us. Ricky Randolph, new music on the Songwriter Connection podcast.
All right.
People like to talk about everybody if they don't know the truth. You know they'll make it up. Here's one thing I know they'll be saying when they talk about us. They talk about love. When they talk about us, they talk about love. That's one more thing they wish they had plenty more of. When they look at us, they see a love we built on trust. When they talk about love, they talk about us. It's been so good since we've been together. Our love for each other has been blessed from above. So we do what we do, looking at forever. When they talk about us, they talk about love. When they talk about us, they talk about love. That's one more thing they wish they had plenty more of. When they look at us, they see a love we built on trust. When they talk about love, they talk about us. When they talk about us, they talk about love. That's one more thing they wish they had plenty more of. When they look at us, they see a love we built on trust. When they talk about love, they talk about us. When they talk about us, they talk about love.
I absolutely love it, Ricky. It's got that Muscle Shoals sound, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It quite honestly.
I love it. It's soulful. It's just well done.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, Dad.
Yeah. Tell us about the recording process. That's a buddy of yours. Did you bring in other musicians or kind of like do it yourself?
Actually, that's that track is Billy Lawson and me, period.
Wow.
And
every instrument.
And we spent at least, if anybody needs to record a record, I suggest they go over there. And the reason why is they don't run you in, they don't run you out. You go in there and you make a record. They're making a record. They want to make a record.
Yeah, I love that.
And it might take. It takes a little time, but that's not an issue there, and that's why I like recording over there.
Well, anything that you do is worth taking your time for. And the other great thing is it's Muscle Shoals. I mean, you think about all the big songs that came out of Muscle Shoals, and it's
Lord, yes,
absolutely amazing. So it must be cool to spend time there, huh?
Oh man, that place is the R&B capital of the world.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
That special sound, the Swampers, Fame.
Yeah, right.
By the way, I got my Fame shirt on, just in your
honor.
Oh
yeah, man.
Yeah, so
Rick Hall.
Rick Hall, he's the man. There's another great movie. If you've never seen it, folks, get that movie. Was it Muscle Shoals? It's the story, his story, and it's fabulous. It's fabulous. It's just wonderful. Yeah, so
it's great.
Yeah,
and it's true.
And you grew up around it. So, got to be in your blood.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I actually grew up. I got older in Huntsville, Alabama. And in my 20s, I moved to the Shoals.
Did you?
With a guitar player, Wayne Perkins, that was from Birmingham.
Okay.
Wayne played on the Rolling Stones, Tattoo You. Great guitar player. We had a band together. And Ralphie Zell, that was a bass player from Shenandoah, who's passed on now. But we had a great band, and that's the reason I moved over there. I was working here in Huntsville, and Wayne asked if we wanted to come over there. Me and Tommy Patterson put together a band, and that's when I went over there. It was in the 80s.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So was that like the first big break then, Ricky?
Well, I guess it was a big break. I just went to play in a good band and play good music.
Yeah,
that's all I cared about.
Yeah,
I never got into this for money. It's a good thing too.
Well, I love that because our friend Mark Allen Barnett's got that saying, you don't choose music chooses you, right? And it sure ain't for the bucks. We do it for the passion. So. But, sometimes that magic happens, man, and you just never know.
Yeah. You never know, man. You never know.
Yeah. So.
Sometimes your broken dreams come true.
That's right. Absolutely. I like that. Sometimes there's a good song. Sometimes your broken dreams. There's a lot of people taking out their Hooks books right now and just trying to. Ricky is the co-writer on that, folks. I'm going to tell you right now if you're going to write that.
Yeah.
Ricky wants a co-write. Do you do a lot of co-writing?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Do you do a lot of solo writing?
When inspired. Yeah, I do. I do solo writing.
Yeah.
I don't know that I keep as much of it but I solo write just to keep everything sharp, try to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think it's important. Yeah. You always got that book, that hook book with you when you're feeling inspired and or do you record it?
If somebody got a hold of my voice memos, they put me away.
It's voice memos. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
They'd send me away.
Well, no, that's good. That's good. That's good stuff because you never know when it comes in. Sometimes you've got stuff that's been in there for years and you're writing a song and you go, wow, that line right there.
Yeah, and it comes out.
I thought that was a crazy line, but wow, that fits perfect. You never know. Don't lose it.
You never know.
The worst thing you could do is lose it. Let it go, and it goes back out to the universe and it's gone forever. Ricky, has this ever happened to you? I remember laying in bed one time, and this never happened again because I learned a lesson. I had been writing this song for years. I had this song, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm about to fall asleep when the perfect line for that song popped in my head, and I'm going, I can't believe I didn't think of that before. That's it.
That's right.
And then I go, you should get up and write that down right now.
That's right. Yeah.
And
when they come, it don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
It don't matter what time it is.
It don't matter. But force yourself to get up and write it down, because here's what happened to me. I fell asleep.
You fell asleep.
And 3 days later, it occurred to me that I had the perfect line. And to this day, I don't remember what it was. To this day. So I've never had that happen again, because I refuse to fall asleep when it hits, you know?
Well, sometimes these songs hold you captive.
They do. I get obsessed. Do you get obsessed?
Yes. Mm. That's one of my blessings.
Mm-hmm. Ricky Lee's Billy Lee's a good friend of Ricky and mine, and I'll give you a perfect example. Has this ever happened? Do you ever wake up from a dream where you're playing guitar and singing something and it's stuck in your mind? Did you?
I've not actually playing guitar and singing, but I've had songs dream about things and wake up and write it.
Yeah, have you? So it's happened. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah, sure.
It's happened for me, but I could never remember them. You know. And then a couple weeks ago, I was in this dream playing, and somebody was playing with me, and they were harmonizing with me to this song. I'm thinking, wow, this is a cool song, you know. And when I woke up, it was still there. And I ran into my dining room where I record this podcast. I picked up my guitar, and there it was. I had the melody and the hook. And I talked to Billy about every day. And I said, Billy, we got to write this song, you know. And I probably drove him crazy, Ricky. I was calling him 10 times. What about this line? What about that line? You know, and then we have, I don't know if you use Google Docs, but I love it because we can both make changes and see it in real time. Yeah. And, I know I drove him nuts because I was obsessed, but I think we finally got it today.
You know? Well, good. That's good. I talked to Billy earlier.
Yeah? How's he doing?
For a little while. He's doing fine.
Did he tell you I was driving him crazy?
No, he didn't.
You know,
I know nobody's driving him crazy. He lives there. You don't need a ride.
That's true. You know he's going to hear this, right?
You know. Yeah, I know it. He knows I'm playing. I love Billy.
Oh, I do too. And if it wasn't for Billy Lee, I got to tell you something about Billy Lee. Billy Lee wrote "The One," which is one of my favorite songs from Gary Allan. And the first time I wrote with Billy, I walked into his office. At the time, he had remember this office on 17th Avenue? He had a beautiful building there. And today they've torn it down, and it's high rise, and it's, you know, it's.
Oh, I was there the last night it was on its foundation. I was at the party. That's the night I met Billy.
Isn't that a shame? I mean, really? I mean, that was a beautiful building and a beautiful old home.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think it was Marty Stewart's old office too. I think.
Was it? I know he was saying that Jason Aldean's office was upstairs. Steve Cropper, right next to him, right? Yeah,
right.
Unbelievable.
And Steve Cropper's studio was right down in the basement there.
Unbelievable. Unreal.
Yep.
And I know they're still really good friends today. But I remember walking into that beautiful home and going into his office, and there on the wall was the gold record for The One. And I go, "Did you write that song?" He go, "Yeah." I go, "Man, I love that song."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, I got to say this in Billy's defense, and I think all writers, we have to be a little bit crazy.
Probably. Yeah.
We have to be.
We have to be.
Yeah, we have to be.
Yeah, I mean,
we're professional liars.
Oh, well, I never thought about it that way, but I guess we are, because we make up stuff for a living, right? Or for not a living.
Right. I mean, well, of course, it's precariously through other people, and however it comes through the window. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're going to talk more about songwriting and play some new music from Ricky Randolph, who's our guest here on the Songwriter Connection. But I got to take a little break. Ricky, don't go away, all right? Don't go away.
I won't. All right.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection, connecting with music makers and hearing their songs and stories. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
On the phone with Ricky Randolph is in Huntsville, Alabama, where his home is, just 68 miles from Muscle Shoals. Ricky, good to have you here.
Well, it's good to be here, Dave.
I thank you for I thank you for taking the time to be in on the show. And I want to just remind folks, we are everywhere out there. We publish every Wednesday morning, very early in the morning, so that when you get up on Wednesdays, you can have your cup of coffee and make a new connection. If you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe, because that really, really helps us. We're making the connection with Ricky Randolph, a great drummer, session drummer, but also amazing songwriter, guitar player, and it's good to have you, Ricky. You've got brand new music coming out. Is it out already? Is your CD done?
It's on my website, rickyrandolphmusic.com. You can get it there, or come see me play, and I'll have some in the trunk of my car.
Well, yes, please do that, and see Ricky, because you want to see him perform. Let's play another one. Only Good Thing. Tell us about this one. Oh, and before I get there, I lost the question. I'm sorry. What are you calling your new record?
It's called Muscle Shoals, Music City.
Oh, there you go. Two great music towns. Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Only Good Thing is the next one.
Only Good Thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I wrote this with Quinn Loggins and Trapton Harvey. Quinn is Dave Loggins' son. Please come to Boston.
No kidding. I was going to ask you if there was a relation. No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest songs ever written.
Also, his cousin's Kenny Loggins. So, yeah, all the Loggins
How about that?
Are related. Like all the Seals, they're all related.
Yeah. Dan Seals, who passed away, Brady Seals.
Brady.
Yeah. Little Texas guy. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, so this is Only Good Thing. Anything you want to say about it? Anything? About the writing, the idea?
Everybody come by it.
All righty. Only Good Thing, Ricky Randolph on The Connection, songwriter.
I've got bills, they've been stacking up tall. Got my guitar smashed up against the wall. All of my records are burning on the lawn. With all of my clothes except the ones I've got on, I guess the only good thing I've got going is you. You're going out the door, out of my life, falling out of love, finding Mr. Right. I'm so glad that Mr. Right ain't me. Everything's changed, like the locks on the door. You even took my hound off of the porch. I had to call a friend just to borrow some cash, cause at ATM won't give my card back. Guess the only good thing I've got going is you. You're going out the door, out of my life, falling out of love, finding Mr. Right. I'm so glad that
podcast listeners, back it up and crank it up. Oh, let me tell you, what a rocker. Great song. Ricky Randolph is our guest. Ricky, can I say that has that Muscle Shoals, the Stones recorded in Muscle Shoals, and that kind of reminds me of like a Rolling Stones feel too, but yet very uniquely Muscle Shoals, huh?
That's the reason I moved over there was Wayne Perkins. Now, he played on that Stones stuff. He's on the Tattoo You album.
Wow.
And he's on the Black and Blue album. So,
oh, God. So that's him playing the guitar on that track?
No.
Okay.
That's, everything's Billy and me.
Billy and you. Okay. Very good. Awesome song. Can I say, and I hate to compare folks to anybody, and and I talk about this on the show all the time. It's good to have influences and stuff, but you're your own sound. But you kind of just a little bit, and this is a compliment, a little bit remind me of another singer drummer in rock history. A little bit of Don Henley. Did people tell you that?
Yeah, I've heard it a couple times. Yeah,
only better.
I've heard it a couple times. Yeah. That's a great compliment, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. I've got another one here called Redefining. Is this Redefining You? Tell me about this song.
Redefining Beautiful. It's about my wife.
Oh, Redefining Beautiful. Oh, my God. My wife is always saying, you never write a song for me. And I always go, well, honey, that's because Brick House has already been written.
Oh.
So, so you wrote this for your wife?
I did.
Tell us about
her. I don't know if you know Joe Doyle.
I don't.
I wrote this with Joe Doyle and Trapped in Harvey again. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, when you have the magic, you go back, right? Right?
Go back. Yeah, man.
That's right. Anything special about this song that got you the idea and the cooking and how it came about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My everyday life.
Your everyday life. Oh, man.
Yeah. My wife's great.
Awesome.
She's wonderful.
I've met her once or twice.
She'd have to be an inhuman person. She lives with me. The only dumb thing she's ever done was marry me.
Oh, God. I bet she would beg to differ, especially after hearing this song right here. Redefining Ricky Randolph on the Songwriter Connection.
She makes sweatshirts and sandals and ball caps attractive. Sundresses sparkle and shine. Pinks lipstick and eyeliner for daily distractions. Getting dolled up's a big waste of time. She doesn't work it all comes naturally without a word. Ever so casually gives grace a new meaning. She's redefining beautiful. If she sees a mirror man, she'll walk right past it. Knows what's in her heart, what's in style. Makes sweet random acts of kindness a habit. She wakes up wearing that smile. She doesn't work it all comes naturally without a word. Ever so casually gives grace a new meaning. She's redefining beautiful. Right where it counts, beautiful from the inside out. She doesn't work it all comes naturally without a word. Ever so casually, she doesn't work it all comes naturally without a word. Ever so casually gives grace a new meaning. She's redefining beautiful. She's redefining beautiful.
I think I caught you singing along, man. What a great song.
Thank you. I wish that had been a big hit.
Maybe it will. You never know.
I'd buy me some brand new used tires if it was.
You know, we wrote a song called Bald Tires about just that same thing a while back. Yeah. I hear you.
Man, I'm a poor boy. I get some new used ones, though.
Some new used ones? Retreads?
Yeah, I get some retreads.
Yeah.
If I can find them.
Dude, you're hilarious. You know, I don't want to let you go without first. I want to talk a little bit about you on the road with Greg Allman and Michael McDonald and Derek Trucks. Derek has a relative who's a pretty darn good drummer. So tell us about those experiences and how it all came to be and what it was like on the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Derek Trucks came to be. I had a friend that was a drummer in the Aquarian Rescue Unit. His name was Jeff Sipe.
Uh-huh.
And he was a friend of mine, and he told me that Derek was looking for a drummer. And so I went down to Fat Matt's in Atlanta and auditioned and got the gig.
Wow.
He was, I think Derek was like 17 or 18.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
But just a monster.
Oh, always.
And yeah, so I got that gig through Jeff, who was in the Aquarian Rescue Unit with Bruce Hampton. Now, after when I quit playing with Derek, I started with Bruce Hampton. I was in a band called the Fiji Mariners. We were on Capricorn Records.
Oh boy! Wow, big time.
Yeah, and so that's how that all came to be.
Mm-hmm. Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald. I had a friend, Lannis Morrison, that bass player that I played with in Atlanta. His wife worked for Hewlett Packard, and they moved to Leapers Fork, and they were going to a church called the Grace Chapel out there. Well, Michael happened to be a member of that church, and Lannis asked me to come play a service over there one Sunday. And Michael walked up after the service, and he said, "How would you like to play my stuff?" And I said, "I'd love to."
Wow.
And that's how that happened. It was through God and church.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's God thing, huh?
Just in that order.
And with Greg Allman, oh my gosh. Now, man, talk about legends and stuff. Greg Allman, what was he like? What was it like to play with him?
Greg was the nicest person I've ever, one of the nicest people, very laid back.
Yeah.
Not loud at all, just a very cool guy.
Yeah.
He just dripped coolness.
I'll bet he did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. He was really, really cool.
Mm. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. I got the gig with him. I played a civil rights leader that got killed in Mississippi. His name was Medgar Evers.
Yes, Medgar Evers. Sure. Yeah, made a movie about his life. Yeah.
So Dale Long, that was Greg's manager, got me the gig with him to do the Medgar Evers Homecoming in Mississippi, which is in Laurel and Jackson. And on that bill was B.B. King, us, Bobby Bland, and Little Milton.
Unreal.
And we all four bands stayed at this one hotel called the Sun and Sand. Well, there wasn't no sun, there wasn't no sand, but there was all these people. And BB comes down in a wife beater and boxer shorts and sock garters.
No kidding.
He comes down after the first gig and tells us the whole story about Lucille. You know the story about how Lucille got named, right?
Tell us that. I've read his book a long time ago, and I forget this story. But tell us.
Well, they were playing they called them tent joints. Tent joints. They put up tents. They put up tents, and they would heat these tents with barrel heat, the oil heat. Okay. Well, these two guys got in a fight over a woman named Lucille. And knocked over one of the oil heat barrels, and the tent caught on fire. Oh, no. And BB went back in and grabbed his .335, and he found out the fight was over a woman named Lucille, and that's how that guitar got its name. Oh, wow. That's from the horse's mouth.
I never knew that. If I did, I forgot. Yeah. And he had a lot of different iterations of Lucille, different guitar. I know when I worked at Ryman, we had one of the Lucille's, a red one, in a case, showing that one off. Yeah. Ryman Museum.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, oh,
Well,
cool.
they were all namesakes of that woman.
Of that woman. That woman.
Yeah. That woman.
Yeah.
Started that fight.
What a cool story. That's amazing. Well, Ricky,
Yeah.
I want to tell you what a pleasure it is to get to know you a little bit more. And
Well,
I thank
you, Dave.
again
Thank you.
and I wish you all the best with this new project. Again, your websites
Thank
people could go to and listen to this music.
RickyRandolphmusic.com.
And it's DOLPH, right?
RENDOLPH.
PH. Ricky Randolph. Ricky, thank you so much, my man. Say hello to your lovely wife
Thank
for
you,
me.
Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
All right.
She's right here. She says, hey.
Hey, tell her I said hey. And we'll see you soon, okay? Hey, there
All
she
right.
is.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Dave.
See you, buddy.
Thank you for listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast. Find us on social media at Songwriter Connection. Also, listen to Dave Lanahan's Nashville Connections radio show. It streams live every Friday morning on WOBL and WNOI. Look for us on Facebook and YouTube. See you next time on Songwriter Connection.